Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. Hey y'all, I came in today to talk about this college cheating scandal. Have y'all heard about what these wealthy parents have been doing over the years and how this has exploded onto the scene and confirmed what we have believed over many years, that rich people pay to get their kids into prestigious universities, and they pay to have people take tests for them and all kinds of stuff. Now y'all, I'm going to tell you something right off. This video is going to be pretty long, and the reason why is because this shit pisses me off. Many of you who have been watching my station or my channel for the past couple years, y'all know that I just had a child graduate from college last May. And y'all, in this video, when I talk about what these parents did, what these wealthy parents did to get their kids in college, I'm going to contrast it with what an everyday person, an everyday mother like me had to do to get my daughter, first of all, just in the door of the college, and then to be able to keep her there for 5 years. So let me just get started. I'm going to run down some things that they did, and then I'm going to talk to you guys about my personal struggles with keeping my daughter in college. So first of all, these two actresses that are caught up in this scandal, their names are Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin. Now y'all might remember Lori Loughlin from Full House. She was on that comedy show for years, and that's where you know her from. Felicity Huffman, I can't remember anything that she actually played in by name right now, but her face is familiar to y'all. So excuse me. First off, y'all, the first thing that I heard that they did is that they bribed people when it came to their kids' ACT and SAT tests. Basically, what they were doing is they told, well, first of all, there was this organization, a fake organization, that these bribes were funneled through. And the organization worked as the catalyst to set up individualized testing sites for these kids to go and actually take the test. Now, normally when a college-bound student takes an SAT or ACT, they go to a place where there are other young people at, you know, and it's hundreds of them taking the test at the same time. Well, in the case of these rich people, basically they had a center in Houston and a place in LA, and they would lie with the help of this fake charity and say that their kids needed extra time because they had some type of disability where it made the stress of testing in a big center like that too much, and that they needed more time and all of that. But what would happen when they got to that testing site that was set up by this fake charity, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, the fake charity, there would be people there either walking the person through how to take the test, or giving them the answers to the test, or simply taking the test for them. Now, this fake charity that I speak of, basically, it was set up as a charity to help underserved people, underserved young people. But that was just a front for them to funnel the money through so it would look legit. You know, they needed a place where they would actually pay the money so they could get tax write-off, because that's another thing that happened. Once they made these payments to this fake charity, the fake charity advised them that they could write off the amount of the bribe. So just say like the one actress paid $500,000 total with all the help that they had given her to get her daughter in college. And basically they told her, you know, you can write this off. Y'all, the gall of them, the gall. You're cheating, and then on top of the cheating, you're doing a tax write-off on your bribe money. What the fuck? Let me tell y'all something else they did. You know how they talk about young black athletes getting into college on, athletic scholarships? Well, let me just tell you what they did. So some of the parents wanted their children to go to school, on athletic ability. So what they did is they faked pictures. They photoshopped their child in an actual athletic event at the high school that they had attended. And when they sent in their applications, the college application, they included those pictures. Ain't that something, y'all? And then let me talk about the actual application. So a lot of them, when it came to filling out the college application, they didn't want to bother with it. So what they did is they also paid money to that fake charity to have them complete the college application. Y'all, I remember when my daughter was filling out applications, or when I was filling them out, because basically I did it for her. She just sat at the table. She was 18. She knew what the hell she was doing. So it could be right. Me and her sat there together and we completed all of those college applications, all of those questions. We searched for hours for scholarships that would help pay tuition. Y'all, this is why I'm so upset with this. And I'm past upset. I'm pissed because, like I said in the beginning of the video, we have suspected that rich people do this when it comes to their kids. Matter of fact, our president, I believe that that's what his parents did, because proof of it is how simple this motherfucker is, how we watch him every day act like he ain't never been to college. We have suspected this shit for years, but this confirms, y'all, everything that we have been saying. Now, I told y'all a little bit about what these parents did. This whole scandal is so deep and so widespread that if they don't do anything about this, we know what it is. Because you have everyday people, and this is when I'm going to get into talking about myself. You have everyday people who just go out to work every day and who get a paycheck every 2 weeks. Now, when I talk about my story, here's what happened. A week before my daughter was supposed to move into the dorm, my ex, her dad, died. He had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer about 1.5 years before she graduated from college. He made it to see her graduate, but he died a week before she was supposed to go off to college. So let me just say this. The man had been diagnosed with cancer, and he was in a battle for his life. So pretty much everything was on me. Me and him were not together, and I knew when he told me of his diagnosis that getting my daughter graduated from high school and all of that was going to be on me, because I didn't want to bother that with him when he had basically given a due date of when he was going to die. So first of all, I got her graduated, paid for everything that, comes with a child graduating from high school. Then there were 2 proms. She went to her prom, and then she went to her boyfriend's prom. And then while all of that was going on, we were in the process of selecting colleges and paying fees and this and that. So, I had to pay for all that. Now, mind y'all, I'm just an everyday woman that goes to work. I have a pretty decent job, nothing where I'm making 6 figures or none of that, but just a decent job. So it was like every time I got paid, there was something to be paid for my daughter, something to buy to get her ready for college. So during the time of the prom, that's what I was doing. Then it came time for us to go visit some of the college so we can make our decision on which school she was going to go to. So that means the rental car to drive to the area where the college was, to be put up in a hotel, and the meals that we had to pay for while we were there visiting the college and all of that. Then she made her choice of which college she was going to go to. So then once you make your choice, then they start sending you where you need $200 for this, $500 for that, $400 for this. Every time I turned around, there was some money. Now, during all of this, you're buying things to prepare to decorate the dorm room, make sure she has everything that she needs. When I tell y'all that we went to every dollar store, Walmart, Target, every place that we could think of, because when they're going to college, you get a list. The college sends you things that they tell you that is a necessity for your child when they're away at school. So we took that list and we went out weekly, well, every 2 weeks when I got paid, and made sure that she had every fucking thing on that list. We did not bribe anyone. We did not have the money to bribe anyone. This was just an everyday mother making a commitment to her child that if you make good grades, because one thing, my daughter has always been a very good student. From the time she was a little girl in the kindergarten, this girl has been getting A's and B's, and mostly A's, honor roll, roll of excellence, all through school. So when you have a child like that, you say to yourself, as a parent, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that if this child wants to go to college, I'm going to make it happen for her. And that's what I did, y'all. So I remember the day that she was supposed to move into the dorms. That was the actual day of her dad's funeral. Now remember, he died a week to the day that she was supposed to move into the dorms. So we got special permission for her to go a day earlier to put, to decorate and put her stuff in the room. So we went that day, we got her room, her side of the dorm room set up, and then we left, and then the next day she went to her dad's funeral. All the other kids were moving in, the fun of the first day of going to college. My daughter, when we went, the campus was completely empty because it was the day before the kids were supposed to move in. The day of, she was attending her dad's funeral. So she went to the funeral, and then the next day we drove back to the campus and I dropped her off. Y'all, that day I was going here, going to Walmart there, getting her other things that we have forgotten to get, just buying the last minute things. Then we walked around the campus. We tried to find her classes and all of that, because the day before the other kids had all done that together. When you go to college that first night, you all meet and they give you a tour of the campus and show you where different things is. My daughter wasn't there for that because she was attending her dad's funeral. So that day when I dropped her off, we took her schedule and we tried to find where her classes were, because the very next day she was going to start class. And then the first year, we didn't know about all these different places where you could go buy books. So that day when I left her, we sat down and we looked at the books that she needed and how much they were going to cost. By that time, y'all, I was pretty much tapped out financially. I had given everything through graduation, 2 proms, preparing her to go to school, and now we were there. So that day, my bank account was looking pretty lean, y'all. I probably had a few $100s. Let me tell you what I had to do. You know how you have overdraft on your checking account? When I left my daughter with several $100s. I left her with enough to cover her books and then any last minute things. But in leaving her with those several $100s, it overdrafted my account. And I knew when I pulled those hundreds of dollars out of my bank account that when I left there, I would be in the red. But I also knew that my daughter would be okay. Because just say her books came to $300. She had that $300 and plus a few extra hundreds of dollars just in case something else came up. Now, when I withdrew the money, my daughter had no idea. I did not tell her, Mommy is going to go to this bank, Amber, and when I pull out these several hundreds of dollars, when I leave here, child, if I got gas to make it home, it'd be a blessing. I did not tell her that because I did not want her to worry. She had done what she was supposed to do in getting those good grades. She also did have a scholarship because of her GPA, but the scholarship only covered a certain amount, you know, through scholarships, grants, and then a small loan. After that, I had to pay, y'all, every month for 10 months between $550 and $600 a month. Now that is after grants, the small loan that we took out, and you know, basically her financial aid packet. That's what I had to pay as a parent. And the school that she went to, basically what they do is they apply all of your financial aid. Then they give you a total of what your family owes. And then they split it up for the 10 months that the child is going to be there, the 9 or 10 months. So when I was driving back, on the one hand, when I left her at school, I was so proud of her, so happy for her. But the closer that I got to the city that I live in, and the further away I got from that campus, I realized that this was going to be a long financial journey on my part. I vowed to myself when I was driving back that I would never let my daughter worry about how I was financing her being in college. Because, y'all, I went to college myself. And I remember what it's like to be at school and not have enough money and worry about buying books and, you know, keeping myself fed and all of that. And I didn't want my daughter to go through that. I wanted her to be able to concentrate on just studying. Now, my daughter was the type of child that got a job and tried to help out. But what I told her to use the little money that she made from her job on is toiletries and, you know, any events that the school was having. And that way I can concentrate on the big things. I also went down there at least once a month, every month while she was there. And when I would go down, I would take her to Walmart, you know, to get things that she needed. I would take her grocery shopping. Even one time, y'all, I went down there and she had moved off campus because it was cheaper for her to live in an apartment. And when I went there, my daughter lived in a townhouse with 4 other girls. Now, my daughter had chose to have a room that was in the basement. Okay. So when I got there, I walked into her room. And when I tell y'all, her room was so cold, it felt like we were outside. Y'all, we live in Ohio and it was winter time. The moment I walked in her room, I set my purse down and I was like, Amber, this room is freezing. How have you been able to, you know, make it in this room cold as it was, you know, cold as it is? And basically she was like, Mom, I didn't want to worry you. You know, I just keep on sweats and keep a whole bunch of blankets on my bed and blah, blah, blah. So I told her, I said, get your purse. Let's go to Walmart. And I bought her a heater for her room. When I left there that day, y'all, I had spent over $300. I helped her on her rent. I took her to Walmart and the grocery store and bought her, you know, things that she needed. And this was something that went on for 5 years. Even to every time I got paid, I would get paid on Friday. I would be up at the bank on Saturday morning. Sometimes, y'all, with my pajamas on and a coat. I would just, because, you know, on the Saturday, the banks close like at 12 or 1 o'clock. So sometimes I would wake up at the last minute and I would just throw my coat on, throw on some boots, and then just drive to the drive-through at the bank and deposit $50 to $70 in my daughter's account, you know, every time I got paid. And this was just to keep her in money while she was there, to give her peace of mind where she didn't have to worry about how she was going to pay for her books, and if she wanted to go to an event, where she was going to get the money from. I even remember one semester my daughter had found out that some of the books that she was going to need for class, she could actually borrow from the library. The libraries in Ohio have this program, and it's probably like this in your state, where no matter where you are, you can borrow from another library in another city, and you can keep the book, you know, for the whole, what is it, 12 weeks or that they actually take the class. So that cut down on some of the expense on me. I even remember one time my daughter lost her dorm room key. So what they did is they charged her $50 to replace it. She didn't pay it. What I told her to tell them to do is to tack it on to what I was paying monthly. Now remember, y'all, I told y'all for 10 months of the year, I paid an additional $500 to $600 every month. Every month. So when I hear that these parents bribed, paid, lied, and cheated for their kids to go to school, and they saw no problem with it, one thing that I taught my kids is you do stuff on your own merit. I could not in good conscience do something like that to get my child into something. We all want our kids to do better, but to do well, but you also want to teach them some lessons of life. When your child is watching you cheating and scheming and bribing, what are you teaching them? You know, what exactly are you teaching them about life? See, this is what I believe has happened to this freaking president of y'all's. He probably grew up in a home that was doing the same thing, buying his way through life, using their money to put him in positions where, you know, he got benefit from. Our kids, the ones that are trying and working hard, they're doing it on their own merit. And that's why every year, all of those 5 years that my daughter was in college, like I told y'all in the beginning of the video, I did everything that a single mother doing it alone needed to do to keep her child there. Y'all, there were times when things were so tight, because you got to think, I not only was taking care of my home, what I had going on back in Columbus, Ohio, where I live, but I had to make sure that my child was okay. I still had rent, insurances, electric, gas, everything, y'all. I had a full plate. And I had a life of my own. There were times when things were so tight, y'all, that when my daughter called, I didn't want her to know the stress that I was under trying to juggle all of this. I didn't want her to worry about that. So I would brighten my voice. And I remember once my mother was like, she was seeing the stress that I was under, trying to, you know, make sure my child was okay. And my mother was like, Rachel, you need to tell her so she can understand the sacrifices that you are making to make sure that she is comfortable down in school. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Y'all, I thought about it and I said, you know, in the end, I just want her to be able to fly as high as her abilities, her intelligence will take her. And to do that, she needs to be stress-free. Y'all, for some reason, it's hard to reconcile in my head how us everyday folk who are forced to play by the rules because of our circumstances, struggle when it comes to things like this, putting our child through college. And you have these rich parents who have everything afforded to them, and they cheat to get their kids in, and then they tell us, you know, once their child goes out into the world, graduates and all of that, and we talk about struggles, they tell us, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Quit complaining and you know, do like we did and go to college and do this and that and the other. Yet we find out that they do stuff like this. And like I said earlier, y'all, this is not a surprise to us. And I'm pretty sure any of you guys out there who are listening to this video who have had to put a child through college and who have had just everyday struggles in life, you are outraged as I am. You are understanding when I am sitting here bearing my soul to you about the struggles that it took for me to get my daughter through college. Y'all, when my Amber, and that's my daughter's name, her name is Amber, when May would come, May 5th, 6th, or 7th, when her school year would be over, when I tell y'all I was so happy, because what it would do is it would give me a chance to regroup, save some money from my paychecks, and prepare for the next year. I didn't want, again, her to be worried, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme in this video about how I did not want my daughter to worry. So what would happen is May would roll around and it would be time for me to go get Amber from school. I would rent a van. Now, you know, a van to go and come and put gas in it, to go put her stuff in, to go get her stuff. Or one year we left her stuff down there. We got a storage over the summer and we just left her stuff in the college town in a storage unit, because we realized after a couple years, you know, some of this stuff she's going to be bringing back. Why bring it all the way home, store it in my basement, only to have to, at the end of the summer, rent a van and then take it all the way back? Us leaving her stuff down there allowed us not to have to every year rent a van. One time I just rented a full-size SUV, and you know, it was a lot easier because we had left you know, some of her furniture, because by that time she had started to accumulate furniture and stuff. When a child has gone away for school for 5 years, they start to accumulate stuff. So once again, when I think about what we went through, when I think about the times that it was midterms, and my daughter would call me and she would be stressed out and she would be crying and, you know, just worried about, Mom, am I gonna pass this test? Because if I don't, this, that, and the other is going to happen. I remember one year where my daughter got a little confused about classes. So she went to school to be a teacher. Now she's not doing that now, because after, you know, graduating, well, right before she graduated, she decided she didn't want to do that. So she now works at a major insurance company with a very good job, making a very good living. But I remember what happened is my daughter got a little confused on when she was supposed to take this specific class, what semester that she was supposed to take it. So just say she was supposed to take it when she got there in August, and she didn't get that class on her schedule. Well, the next semester, the class wasn't offered. So she had to actually wait until the next year to take that class, because it was only offered in fall semester. Now, what that did to my daughter is it made her have to go to school for an additional year. Remember, I said she was there 5 years. So think about that. That adding on an additional year also added on additional financial stress on us, because where she should have graduated in 2000 2017. She ended up graduating in 2018. Y'all, when I tell you college is not, it's not easy to get your child through college financially. I went through a lot, but I also thought about the end goal. You know, that me sacrificing for my child would give her a better life. And one day she would understand those sacrifices that I did for her meant a lot to me as well. Because what happens is, as you watch your child go from a freshman to what I call Amber, she was a super senior. Because, you know, in your 4th year, you're a senior. But because Amber was there 5 years, she ended up being a super senior. The transition from freshman to senior, you actually watch them grow up. You actually watch them mature. The child that you drop off when they're 18 is not the child that you pick up, you know, at 22 when they've graduated, because they've gone through a lot down there. They've had bad roommates, bad experiences, and just the, you know, the thing of being in college. Y'all, I'm upset with these people because of what me and my daughter went through, the struggles that we went through. And previously I shared my daughter's graduation with y'all, and I wanted to share the background of just trying my best. I was very proud to do what I did for my daughter. Now, y'all, I know this video has been long, and I have been saying all throughout the video that everything that I did, everything that I sacrificed, I did it for my baby. And on that day when she graduated, when I woke up that morning and me and my son, we got in the car and we drove down there, my mind was racing. It was racing through those 5 years that we have been pounding and sacrificing and sending money and care packages and all of that. All that ran through my mind. And then I thought about what this day meant to her, what it was going to feel like to watch her walk across that stage. Y'all, when I tell you that it was one of the proudest moments of my life as a parent, that when I saw her in that cap and gown, and when I saw her walking in, I remembered the little girl that I gave birth to. I thought about all the struggles that she had gone through down there. There was a moment when she was standing by this lake that she just turned around and she thought about it. And it touched me to watch her understand what she had just accomplished. And y'all, I want to share with y'all again that day. Here it is.
Better, Mom. Amber! Amber! See Am? No, I don't. She's on the right side. She's about to be. On the right? Yeah, she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people back.
Haley Rose Holbrook. Molly Renee Clausen.
Amber's like the third one.
Magna cum laude.
She's coming up.
Jenna Kindlin Gibson. Magna cum laude. Paige Caitlin Parker, cum laude. Christopher C. Carter.
There's Amber.
Michael Dominic Alonso. Amber C. King.
All right. Yeah!
Courtney Lynn Welker.
Y'all, when she took this picture, she was so emotional because she realized what she had done. So in her being emotional, it made me emotional. And y'all, I forgot about every penny that I had ever sacrificed to get her to that point. So this is my baby, y'all. I did not have to bribe anybody. I did not have to pay anybody to doctor her ACT scores, SAT scores. This girl did this all on her own with her brain, her smarts, her hard work, and a little extra help from her mom. Thank you for watching my video. If you made it to the end, I appreciate it. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. You take care now. Bye-bye.